two things about that clip. One is that the actress in that scene is the wonderful, brilliant Alfred Woodard. And there was a line at the end of the scene. The line must be drawn. Yeah. And at the time, because Star Trek was made at Paramount Studios, and the head of the studio at that time was Sherry Lansing, terrific studio head, and did some wonderful work. But people began to tell me that in big and important meetings, whether with Viacom or whether with the studio executives or whether with some of her producers, whenever she finally got to a point at which she decided enough was enough, she would say, "That line must be drawn here!" So, I left a mark on Hollywood.
This won't be the first time this comparison's been brought up, it certainly won't be the last, but I mean, there is something in Jean-Luc Picard that has a grandeur of a slight Shakespearean character, let's say. He's a leader, he's a warrior, he has his domain to look after. And I don't know if that was something that drew you to what was there in the writing, or something that grew out of it because it was you who was playing it.
I can't claim to have had a hand in his creation because I was given the pilot episode, Encounter at Farpoint, and I was not yet confident enough. Although I only had 2 private meetings with Gene Roddenberry before we began filming it, and at one of them I do remember saying, I have been accustomed to having a say in what I say and do, and I don't want to change that. And Gene said, my door will always be open, you come and talk to me, and he was right. The other thing that Gene said to me at a meeting was, because I said to him, come on, I'm new to all of this, help me, tell me, give me leads, pointers, something that I can grab hold of. And he said, tomorrow I'm going to send round to your home copies of all the Horatio Hornblower stories. That's all you need to know. And he based Picard on that character in those Forster novels. And so I read 2 or 3 of them, and I think I got what he was talking about. A combination of adventure and moral uprightness and ambition and love of his job too, of course, which was easy. But then as time went on, I was allowed, particularly when Rick Berman became executive, to contribute more and more and more. And in fact, Rick Berman's children, who were very small when we were shooting that, and they're now all at university or they've graduated, they have told me more than once how dinner after dinner was ruined in their house because the phone would ring and one of them would groan and say, "It's Patrick Stewart on the phone." And Rick Berman in 7 years, because he was the showrunner for 7 years. Gene was never the showrunner. Rick Berman never failed to pick up the phone and say, "Yes, what do you want to say?" And sometimes he would say, "Can I finish my dinner and call you back?" And then we would talk maybe for an hour about dialogue, and that was fantastically generous that I was allowed to contribute in that way. But there came a point when, in fact, people like Michael Dorn, who played the Klingon, and Brett Spiner as the android, they hated me because I could be set ready, that is, street clothes to set ready in 7 minutes. And they would be there for an hour and a half, 2 hours, and whatever. And the fact is that the time came when I no longer had to sit in my trailer and compose myself and brood about Jean-Luc Picard, because there came a time when it was impossible to tell where Jean-Luc started and Patrick Stewart left off. They became so, and by the time we were shooting the movies, so completely so. And also that was one of, for me, the little shifts into a different way of working, because I'd really never played myself before. And I came to see that actually, if you don't not play yourself, but if there is not a significant proportion of what is inside you in every performance, then the chances are it may not be too interesting.
There must be pros and cons of taking on something like that. You know, when you're signing on to something and it may take up years and years and years of your life, and there's other work you're not able to do. And then, as you're saying, it's a great gift to an actor to be able to work on nuances and have an ongoing sense of developing a character, not over 2 hours on stage or 2 hours in a film, but over how many, hundreds of TV episodes and movies and things. But beyond that, obviously, Jean-Luc, there's a bigger thing, there's a Star Trek thing beyond anything that you're doing with him. What sort of commitment do you feel to the bigger cultural phenomenon of Star Trek and the fans?